Alright, I guess we're gonna see how many of you guys treat my videos like a podcast, because it's finally time for me to make one of those new types of episodes I promised a month or so ago. I want to apologize in advance for what the visuals of this one are going to look like, because this is going to be one of my new Merciful Friday videos, where I take it easy on myself. It's mostly just going to be long swaths of the figures spinning on my turntable. There will be other shots, so it will be a little better than that, but be prepared for visual boredom on this one. My normal Wednesday-Sunday videos will still have all the regular production to them. This is just something I will do from time to time on Fridays if I think the figure doesn't have enough going on that it really needs to be more. Anyways, Legacy Knockout. I gave this thing so much benefit of the doubt going in. I mean, Legacy Bulkhead kicked ass despite having a new look, and Legacy was better than I anticipated despite the botched sculpt. So I thought this might be up to their par. But I'm not really feeling this thing. It's not awful, it's still the Jazz mold, which is a good figure, but whereas Bulkhead felt like the character but from another series, and RC felt like the character from the series that she's supposed to be from, just badly handled on the sculpting front, in robot mode, this doesn't even 1% feel like Knockout, which, you know, if you're not invested in the character at all, would be fine. Instead for you, this would just be a decent car former. But for those of us who like the character, this just ain't it, Chief. I don't hate the way this looks, I just nothing it. It's a burgundy car former, and that's all I'm willing to say about it. This is kind of the Bayverse disease all over again. The design may or may not appeal to you, but there is no denying that this is just not the guy I came to see. It's some rando with the same name, who's nothing like the character I love to watch. To be fair, he is a little closer to the design he's supposed to have, if solely because he's the right color, but that's really about it. He's not Knockout, he's some dude who's also red. As a generic guy, it looks fine, also just ever so slightly like a knockoff. Like, there's something ever so slightly not right about him. And it's not just the fact that he's missing details this particular character should have, like the raised shoulder segments. It feels like Generico Company 5-in-1 robot step changer. For the most part, they've resculpted everything to a pretty ludicrous extent, but the skeleton is almost unchanged from the Jazz. I'd say that this new design has like one pretty huge improvement and one pretty huge flaw. The improvement comes in the windshield. They've clearly taken extra care to finish that part a bit better than on the original figure. Jazz's windshield tended to crack because for some godforsaken reason, they actually injected the plastic from the single point where the most pressure to the part is applied when the windshield is pressed up against the hood of the car in transformation. So a flaw in the plastic was protruding forward and getting pressed on by another part that was exacerbating its weakness. Now, with that part mostly cleaned up, and being relatively smooth to the touch, I do expect this figure to be a lot more durable in the long run than the Jazz. With Jazz, you could at least refuse to transform that part so the hood didn't meet up and therefore couldn't get damaged, but that was a less than optimal solution. Now for the big added flaw of this guy, his ankles. Because of the way they retooled this, the sides of the car now wraps around the backs of his feet. This is a huge frustration for several reasons. For starters, if you don't want these things rotated, then you just can't use the ankles anymore. Why? Because again, they wrap around the backs, hooking over the soles of his feet, so you physically can't get them to pivot till these side panels are moved. Secondly, they are a bit of a pain to untab. I've figured out that you kind of want to pull the part that's up by his knee away from him to unlock them, but it's not a satisfying step to say the least. Lastly, the added material makes them look stupid as shit when they are in the recommended orientation, because they hang off the backs of his ankles like literally 3/4 of an inch. So yeah, it's shitty and stupid. I honestly treat these like ankle locks, where if I want to use his pivots, I unlock them and then I move the ankle and relock them. Unfortunately, that's far from an adequate solution, because that means that you either have to have his ankles bent at near maximum or you don't have them bent at all. The last nail in the coffin of the build of this thing is that I was really hoping it would have improved on the Jazz in at least yet one more way, his knees. But sadly not. These have the exact same problems as before. The peg trying to hold them together just might as well not exist. It's about the length of an amoeba's reproductive organs. Before anyone tries to actually me that amoebas don't have reproductive organs, they reproduce through mitosis, yes I know, I'm saying that they are the size of a single-celled organism. Anyways, yeah, these pegs are the size of the diameter of a human hair, and they just can't hold. If you go to bend the knees, 9 times out of 10 you'll just untransform them. Then you got the head, and this is the figure's worst feature. It's not bad at being a head, it's not misshapen or anything, it's not falling apart. Well, it actually seems to be a little bit, but it's not badly painted or anything. It's just awful for the character. It looks literally nothing like him. The Legacy RC looked like her head, just with a nose and it being slightly too square. This looks 0% like the guy I bought a toy of. At best, you can say that his helmet is kind of reminiscent of the shape of Knockout's, but if I wasn't going out of my way to look for similarities, I wouldn't have noticed that. So the look of this figure is fine, for a random guy. For Knockout, it's trash. It looks so little like him. Just about the only thing that resembles the character at all is the bumper titties. And even then, not really, because it's still the wrong shape and it juts too far off his chest. Again, I tried to give this thing the benefit of the doubt. I tried to like it, but it's just not the character I was trying to buy. Accessory is confusing to me. I don't know why Knockout became so synonymous with Trident user. I know he had one, but more often than not, he didn't. So we got this weird ugly trident with this clear blade to, I guess, be the energon weapon. It doesn't hold together the best, the tip really isn't sized properly, and I don't know why it has this open slot down the side. It's to accommodate this notch, but like, why is the notch there to begin with? Why are they trying to stop you from using this like a sword or a wacky stick? He has to hold this by the awkward, stupid extra handle because they added this dick tip to the base. Don't ask me why, it literally only makes the whole thing less cool. And he can hold it by yet another peg as if it was some kind of gun, I guess. It's a very strange weapon indeed. I guess it's good. Normally I'd feel more confident in saying that. It's got a lot of function, there's a good amount of plastic to it, it's even painted. It's just weird to the point of me wanting to throw it away. Okay, so normally this is the part of the video where I'd show off all the posing, but 1, it's the same as the jazz, and 2, this is the kind of video where I'm trying to take it easy, so I'm just going to rate the joints. Head's a 5 or 6, it gets a little more side to side than normal. Shoulders are a 5, elbows are a 5. Hands are a 3 or 4 because he has narcissorests. Waist is a 4 because it's mildly obstructed. Hips are a 7 because they have most of the ranges you need. Knees are a 7 because they are maximum but are a little bit ugly. And I'm going to rate the feet as a 3 because of those locking problems. Overall, this figure is very average on the posing. Transformation is mostly unchanged from the jazz, but at the same time, it's a lot clunkier. There are more tabs, the tolerances are less friendly, and stuff is hard to fight into place, and it locks in tight when it gets there. It's just more awkward than the other one, but it's fine. And then this is finally where the figure shines. Just how Knockout would want, the alt mode is basically perfect. It looks just like that vain bastard's slick sports car. Normally, I wouldn't complain about this because I rarely find myself caring, but the split peg tires here do crawl up my nose ever so slightly because there is just no way that Knockout would tolerate them. He was a man who cared very much about his rims, so that does feel a little bit insulting to the character. Also, I have to point out that the rear ones don't have that problem, so why do the front ones suffer it? But the reshilling of the jazz mold is nothing short of jaw-dropping here. They altered almost every single detail to get every last thing right with the minor exception of the toes poking out of the rear bumper. And even that is a huge improvement over the 86 Jazz, whose entire rear was formed out of his toes. The front end of this is mean and swooped, and the black painted headlights are inspired. I know there's not anything behind that ebony, but it feels like there is. And you can see that a huge amount of the paint budget went to this mode, with the complex, color-fading racing stripes running down the sides. It's unfortunately missing coloring for the taillights, but the detail is here, and I'm honestly impressed that it turned out this exceptionally well already. The only thing this mode is lacking as far as I'm concerned is a kneecapper so he can jack up some human racers. I feel like his trident could have worked for that, but I swear they specifically designed it to not allow for that. So if you are buying this thing, buy it for the alt mode. This is the one part that I can say was executed almost without compromise. If this mode weren't this good, this would be out of my collection the second I was done with this review. I really don't need a bad version of the best character from Prime. Bad as in, as a representation of the character. My overall thoughts on this figure are technically positive. If you are not concerned with who it's supposed to be, then this is a mostly good-looking figure that's reasonably well made and of at least respectable quality and design. The ankle locks are fucking stupid, but they at least fixed up the windshield, so this figure isn't prone to self-destruction anymore. Posability isn't anything to write home about, it's got good knees and no bad joints, probably an overall 6 out of 10 on that front. And the transformation is okay. The alt mode is where it's at though. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I now have a use for a red figure. I've got the red Knockout for robot mode, being far from perfect but at least looking like the character, and I've got the legacy figure for the perfect alt mode. If you aren't invested in the character and you're just out on the prowl for a Genericon to beef up your bad guy roster, then this is a solid recommend from me. If you're a fan of Knockout from Prime though, then I sincerely doubt that this guy will feel like he's satisfying the hole in your collection. That was an accident, but I am not going to rephrase it. Now it's time for the monthly shoutouts. If you'd like a shoutout yourself, then please just follow the instructions on screen. If you don't follow the instructions, I will not go looking for anything you miss. So, at best, your shoutout will be incomplete with information you may want others to see. At worst, you won't get a shoutout at all if there's something too important missing. So just follow the instructions on your screen. Anyways, the shoutouts. Cohen Kendrick, the absolute mad lad, wants you all to know that Warhammer 40k is the best board game. He wants me to endorse him as president of the meme slides, whatever that means, so sure, you are duly endorsed, my guy. And he wants me to wish his band luck at the homecoming parade. Man, I hope you guys knock him dead. And I hope this message isn't too late. I literally never learned when homecoming was supposed to be. I didn't give a shit about that kind of stuff in school. Did a whole book report on Of Mice and Men. Still never fucking read it. Hannenberg TFCSR would like you to check out his Transformers YouTube channel where he does reviews, and Dragon Teller, a channel he ironically told me nothing about, so I don't know his relation to it. Helix Prime wants you to check out their Transformers photography on Instagram. Their pics are pretty cool. Girmlock Graves would also like you to check out his Instagram, and he says that he'd be happy to teach how one customizes a figure, though he may have meant that he'd be happy to teach me how to do that. So maybe look to see if someone else has asked him about it before you ask yourself. Shockwave Datafiles is making lore for the Transformers on their Instagram and Twitter. What is it with all the Instagram people today? George Supperior asked me to help him get a little bump towards 2K subscribers. Unfortunately, I can't do that, because since he asked me, he gained 600 subscribers, and now he's over 2K on his own. Check out his rapidly growing Transformers channel. History's greatest monster, I Am Not Me, wants to hear me say his name. Hope you're doing well, my guy, and hope this brightens up your day. Happy belated birthday to Onionman 2008, whose birthday was on the 17th. Check out their Reddit page where they repost memes and do Lego builds. ScreamStar010 wants you to check out their Transformers and Star Wars photography over on Instagram. Seriously, did the Instagrammers eat all the stop-motion animators? Street Glitch would like you to check out their Let's Play channel, where he also does music tributes to some of the characters from the games he's played. Longtime subscriber M217 is making memes on YouTube, and his dream is to make people's days better with the jokes he posts, so check him out. Oh, finally guys, the world is starting to make sense again! Sbrick Productions wants you to check out their stop-motion channel. I have no idea how you read this. Ender Omida, also known as Rice, one of my Discord mods, would like you to check out their CGI animation channel. He does awesome work, and he was one of the first people to ever give me fan art. I never expected to get a cool CGI robot version of myself, but I can't ever be grateful enough. Check out his Twitter and YouTube. Atlas Prime would like you to check out their Twitter and Cults 3D page, where they make 3D printable upgrade kits for your Transformers figures. Sonic Renagade would like you to check out their gaming channel. This is all I know. Nick Infernus would like you to check out his friend Sauvesterbot 95's channel, where he plays games with friends and does Source Filmmaker animations. WhyDoPeopleLoveFoxy wants you to look at this picture. I don't get why. Ethan Webb wants you to check out their Transformers photography over on Instagram. What is going on with Instagram? Illusion6 would like it if you go check him out on TikTok. According to him, he does what I wish I could do and just makes videos about whatever he feels like in the moment. Goji Desu wants you to check out their Instagram. Why is this the new stop-motion animators? Where they post their artwork and sometimes Transformers photography. Lastly, here are the top 3 finalists from the bi-weekly contests over on my Discord. The links to it are currently dead, and I'm not updating them just yet because we are in the process of switching over to a new server. And that's not half what I have to say, but it's enough of what I have to say. And I know, you know, what everyone else tells you to do at the end of these videos. So, if you liked what you saw here, please do that. And if you'd like to take it a step further, then please, share this video with any friend you think may be interested. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me waste your time.